everyone is having an amazing start of their January. My name is Ari Gonzalez. I'm a manager and educator with my company Daring Defy, and we are here back at Innerspace Orlando for the Run It Back podcast, a weekly music industry podcast where we talk about everything that is going on in our tumultuous industry, listen to some independent music, and just chop it up as besties, Okay, so today is going to be a really short episode, first episode of 2023. Shout out to the new year. Happy holidays to everyone. I hope everyone has been just, having fun, enjoying their new year, and striving to be the best person that they absolutely can. We're going to keep things short today, mainly just updates. We're going to go through the year's end Billboard charts. We're going to talk about the Rolling Stones top 200 songs of the year and talk a little bit about just the state of R&B music. But other than that, like I said, we're going to get through today pretty, quickly. We don't have any legal news, any acquisitions, any stuff like that. I wanted to keep it light and cute because we are also on a Saturday. We usually do this on Sundays, but we needed to work some things out and wanted to make sure that we still give you guys this content. And real quick, before I get started with the updates of just what's happening with me and Daring Defy, Lord, what did I want to do? Oh, I wanted to let you guys know, any independent artists out there, if you have merch that you want to have sat on the table while we're doing the podcast, let me know. I would love to bring a couple people in their merch or whatever, they would like to be showcased as something on here for me to talk about and for people to be able to see. Just let me know. If you're a business who would like to do that, you can also contact me. It would be a little bit of a different process, but yeah, I just wanted to get that out there and let some folks know if you do want for me to interact with some stuff on the table with you guys. We can make it as pretty as possible and hopefully utilize it as a way for people to, just draw attention to you. On that note, we're going to get into it. I say a lot, and I'm going to try in this episode to say as little times as possible because I'll go through while I'm editing the podcast for social media and I will have to cut the word out 45 times. So we're going to try really hard today to not make that the case and make future Ari, editing Ari, really happy. See, I just did it. Okay. Moving forward, just some updates since it's the beginning of the year. A lot of amazing, fun stuff coming up with my company, Daring Defy. Starting off, of course, in January, every Friday in this exact space, I teach a class. Look, I'm going to put a counter when I'm going through and editing how many times I say Okay, anyways, I'm getting distracted. I host a class here every Friday that has to do with the music industry and music business. So on the 13th, which is this upcoming Friday, I'm having a class all about audio production, and we're actually going to have 3 speakers coming in, some really phenomenal professionals and just amazing people. Starting out, we have Anastasia Felicity. If you don't know who this amazing, talented woman is, she is the co-owner of TMC Orlando. She goes by She's in the Mix on Instagram. In my opinion, one of the best track just engineers all around in Orlando, period. She's going to come in and talk to us about studio etiquette, how you should be interacting with your engineers and your producers, and just the regular staff within whatever studio that we're at. Mark Frazier is going to be coming in. Mark Frazier is a sync agent. He's also the owner of Sync Summit, which is an awesome conference that takes place around the world. They also have an amazing online community. And he's going to be coming in and talking to us about pitching for sync. Definitely an amazing opportunity to be able to speak to him, to be able to get his insight, all of that good stuff. And then finally, my girl B from We Are Jersey is a publication owner, and she's going to be talking to us about pitching to publications, to journalists, and things of that nature. So next week is an immensely important workshop to come to. All of the links are in my Instagram bio. So if you go, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, if you go to my profiles and find my Instagram, go to the link in there. The tickets, whether you are wanting to come in online or if you're in Orlando and able to make it in person, they're all in my bio. So you'll be able to find whatever you need. And once again, amazing people coming in, amazing opportunity to meet and speak with all of them, but also invaluable information. So definitely pull up. And then the following week, which is going to be, let me just make sure I have the date correct, the 20th of this month, we're going to be having a visual production workshop. So very similar to the audio production, talking about personnel, talking about how you pay these people, and talking about etiquette and how we interact within these spaces. The owner of this space, PJ, is a wizard in terms of AV and production, so I'm sure that he's going to come through and say a couple words. Finally, in January, the last two things that we have coming up on the 22nd, for those of you in Orlando, is Spotlight Reloaded. That is a showcase event put together by my amazing friend Leo Knight, and I am the stage manager for those shows. So if you're in town, definitely pull up. We have some phenomenal artists. We also have, I believe, 1 or 2 slots open. So if that's something that you're interested in participating in, either reach out to myself or Leo Knight, or the Spotlight page, which is just spotlight.reloaded, spelled exactly the way it's supposed to be. And then the final thing for the end of this month, which I'm so excited about for my Orlando locals, is the Dare and Defy Jam session. This is going to be just an awesome, awesome, awesome event. Once again, right here in Inner Space, where we just get together as musicians and instrumentalists and make some music together, have some fun. I definitely hope to see as many of you as I possibly can. That's going to be taking place on January 27th. Once again, all of the links for tickets for any of these events are in my Instagram bio. And then we do have something coming up in February that has been announced and that tickets are out for, that I want to let you guys know about. We have the Women's Wind Down, which is going to be taking place on February 15th. This is an all women's music industry networking event. No men are allowed. All different creative women are, of course, encouraged to come through. It's all about just creating more of a creative community amongst women, amongst ourselves, in an extremely male-dominated industry. We're going to be having some jungle juice, like pink lemonade, strawberry jungle juice with chocolate strawberries, a couple other snacks, and all of that will be complimentary. So yeah, definitely come through. It's going to be an amazing time. We're also going to have some speakers, a couple of mixing engineers, and then also we've got my girl Abby. How could I forget? My girl Abby, who is the founder of the app and creative community Creators Club, which is super cool and an amazing resource. So we are super glad to have them coming in and speaking to us. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing time. So any ladies in the city, non-binary folks, come through. We would love to have you. And then something really excited that I want to talk to you guys about, and I'll mention something before I go into this exciting announcement that, yeah. The classes that I mentioned for the rest of this month are the last time that I will be doing in-person classes, specifically in Orlando, in the manner that I've been doing them on the weekly basis. So if you're interested in having that experience and coming in and learning with me, these next 2 weeks are your last opportunities to do so. They're very important classes. This next one coming up may be the most beneficial because of how many amazing speakers and guests that we have coming in. But yeah, I just wanted to put that tidbit in. January is the last. I've been doing this since November of 2022, and January 2023 is the last time I'm doing it, because we are going to be digitally producing the classes and having them distributed digitally as well. So that's something that we're working on. The information will still be able to, cross paths, and I also do one-on-one coaching if you want the information. But this format, like I said, in terms of doing them on a weekly basis, is going to cease. So just to reiterate, if you want that experience, make sure that you come through either online or in person this week. And yeah. The only way that you'll be able to get the information in those classes are via one-on-one teaching, or the fun, exciting announcement, the Dare and Defy convention. So nothing is completely set in stone yet. I'm sorry if that hurt your ears for those of you listening. But yeah, the Dare and Defy convention is something that is beginning to be set in motion. So I wanted to let you guys know about it. The vision for the event is one day full of amazing content, amazing performances, a lot of networking. The beginning of the day would all have to be very conference-y. So all of the course, my passion and purpose to income and career course, that, you know, I mentioned in terms of the classes that I've been doing. All of those classes will be taught at the Dare and Defy convention, along with one keynote and one interactive panel. And then an after party, and then a dope ass show. So that's gonna be in the works. If you're an artist and that's something that you're interested in, I do plan on holding auditions for the lineup. If you are an Orlando local company that wants to get involved and wants to be a part of it, please let me know. I really want it to be, you know, just a big moment of unity, of education, of the spreading of resources, of networking, of love, of creation, all of that kind of stuff. So anyone who wants to be involved in any capacity, whether as a volunteer, as someone who is on staff with us, as a partner, as a sponsor, as a vendor, whatever the situation is, please let me know, because I am in the process of starting things up. Sometimes people say, like, don't tell people your ideas because people are going to steal them. They could be right, they could be wrong. I want as much support as I can get so that I can make it as amazing as possible. And I think, you know, my audience is some really awesome, dope fucking artists and professionals and just amazing people all around. So I'm just telling you so that I can garner your support, so that when it happens and when things are fully steamed ahead, everybody's like, all right, we've been ready for this, we've been preparing, we know what's going on. All right, some other updates. I will be attending South by Southwest this year, so if you are going to be going to Austin, Texas in March, let me know. I'm very open to meeting and linking with everybody, especially if you're at the conference and we can go to a panel together, or we can go to a stage or a situation. I would love that so much. I want to meet as many people as I humanly possibly can, and I'm so excited for South by Southwest. This is my first time going, and I'm gonna poop my pants. Probably not, but it's going to be a lot of fun. The launch party performance videos and recaps and things like that from October, if you were either in attendance or if you just want to support and see what we had going on, those are going to be dropping very soon. I have all the footage back, so I'm super excited to finally be able to show you guys that experience. And the final thing before we get into some of the content-y stuff and I start talking shit, I wanted to let you guys know I am completely wiping all of the submissions that I have gotten from 2022, and we are starting completely fresh in 2023. So if you would like to have your music reviewed for free on this very podcast on some Sunday, please send me a YouTube or a Spotify link to either my email or my DM, and just let me know that you would like it to be reviewed. If I like your music, I will play it on my Monday radio show the following day, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, like I said, I'm wiping everything clean, so if you have submitted in the past and I didn't get to you, please just follow up with me. It's not that I'm like trying to be an asshole, it's just closing out everything from 2022 and starting anew in 2023 is really important, so I don't get jumbled up. I need to separate them. So just let me know, punch me in the face digitally, and make sure that I am alert to the fact that you have submitted me music, okay? Like I said, it's not on purpose, I promise. So now we're going to get into the content of stuff. I'm going to brush past it relatively quickly, or I'm going to try to, but knowing me, we will just have to see how that goes. So the first thing that we're going to do is go over the Billboard year-end charts. So I'm going to go over to billboard.kz. And we're going to go through some of these charts. The three main ones that they release are the Hot 100 Songs, Billboard Hot 200 Albums, and Global 200. So let's go through the Global 200. I'm just going to go through these. I want you guys to see them. Because I don't think, at least from my perspective, like, Billboard charts, of course, in the industry are still a very important metric and mean a lot, but I don't see the popularity of them being what they used to be. My Wi-Fi freaking up, y'all. We're going to go on my phone. We're going to do a little hotspot situation real quick. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Y'all like my Uggs? I've been literally wearing them every day for the past, like, 2 weeks. This is frustrating. Five minutes later. I feel like I hear PJ coming to the rescue. Okay, I think it just got back on, but it was like totally tripping. Okay, we're good to go now. That's crazy. PJ got magic footsteps. Okay, moving on. Well, not moving on, moving forward, moving through this. The Global 200, like I said, I just want to go through these and kind of see your guys's, responses to them. I'll point out which ones went viral on TikTok because I think that's one of the most important metrics and kind of causations that we can talk about. As it was, honestly, I'm going to be real with you. Probably 70% of these were viral on TikTok. As It Was viral. Heat Wave was viral. Stay was viral. Easy on Me was viral. ABCDEFU was viral. Bad Habits was viral. Save Your Tears was viral. And then you have Bad Bunny, who is the superstar of the world. Industry Baby was viral. Lil Nas X is amazing. Levitating was viral. I believe Blinding Lights was viral. Running Up That Hill was viral. Something to kind of touch on with that is the fact that this song was released in the 80s and had this crazy resurgence because of TikTok. A lot of money went to her estate. A lot of just exciting things in terms of vision and an audience back on Kate Bush that might have not necessarily known who she was before. Ghost, I believe, was viral. First Class was definitely viral. Happier Than Ever was viral. Woman was viral. Once again, you got Bad Bunny. Olivia Rodrigo, Good For You was viral though. About Damn Time was viral. Sweater Weather, which is funny, was also viral. Similar story that we have with Kate Bush, that this was released not as far back as the 80s, but this is an older song having a resurgence. Let's see. And then we have, this is also something that's interesting to me, is that BTS does not come up until 38 on this chart. This is interesting to me because I can't go on Twitter without seeing something about Jungkook, or I don't even know who is on what, and that might be bad, and I might get crucified for that. But I cannot go on Twitter or social media without seeing something about BTS or without seeing something about K-pop and how they are crazy fanatics. I can't take that away from them. But it's kind of underwhelming that the BTS army could only push their people to the 38th spot as the earliest thing that they have. I just wanted to note that because it's like there's a discrepancy here. Moving forward, Kiss Me More was viral. We Don't Talk About Bruno was viral, and this is a great example of how soundtracks and how, just the music in film and TV can be skyrocketed by sync depending on, what caliber of movie it is in terms of the funding behind it, how big it's able to get, and what that can do on the back end for that music. Even music that was specifically created, like I said, as a soundtrack for these pieces of work. Let's see. Watermelon Sugar was viral. Shape of You was viral, another one that was released a while ago. That's What I Want was viral. Glimpse of Us was viral. Baby Shark is really funny, the fact that that is on the Billboard charts. Let's see. Driver's License, Olivia Rodrigo. Peaches. Shallow. Begging by Mainskin was another viral one. I believe Yellow was viral. Bohemian Rhapsody, another one that was viral that is also released a while ago. Bad Habit by Steve Lacy was viral. Let's see. I'm so glad to see Lil Nas on here in Montero. Smells Like Teen Spirit, another viral one. Another one released a while ago that is having a resurgence, which is so interesting. Of course, you have All I Want for Christmas Is You by freaking Mariah Carey. Let's see. Counting Stars is another older one. One Republic went viral, was able to be skyrocketed. Blackpink with Pink Venom. Again, K-pop, y'all. Where is the energy? What? I'm disappointed and underwhelmed. Unholy is another viral one. Break My Soul is another viral one, and it's just Beyonce. Starboy is another viral one that was released a while ago. Let's see. Bad Guy, of course. I feel like that was a given. The Real Slim Shady is another one. Big Energy was viral. Super Freaky Girl was viral. In the Club is another older one taken to resurgence by virality. And I could continue going down this. We're almost done. But I think that y'all get the gist. TikTok owns Billboard. And I don't say that lightly. You know, the trends and the things that we see on TikTok have a real world and real industry, you know, freaking effect. And it's massive, the effect that it does have. So we're going to move on to the Billboard 200 album charts. Once again, just take a look at this. Maybe talk about it a little bit. This is less possible to talk about with like virality, but I'm sure that there'll be some type of commentary that we can brush up on. This is taking a minute, man. I wonder. What do I want to say to the world as we wait? I don't know. But let's look, actually, at the top artists as we are waiting. I don't know why this is taking so long. Number 1 is Bad Bunny. Once again, superstar of the world, is outselling everyone, outdoing everyone, and now we can move on to the top 200 albums. Once again, Bad Bunny, Un Verano Sin Ti, is at that number 1 spot. 30 with Adele. I'm not super surprised by that. Midnight's Taylor Swift, Red Taylor Swift. Y'all know how I feel about Taylor Swift. The Encanto soundtrack, so just talking again about how sync and how soundtracks are able to have, you know, this kind of stature. Harry Styles, Olivia Rodrigo with Sour, Certified Lover Boy, Drake, The Heights, The Weeknd, Planet Her, Doja Cat, I Never Liked You, The Future, 7220, Lil Durk, DS Forever with Gunna, Equals, Ed Sheeran, My Turn, Lil Baby, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, which we talked about last episode, with Kendrick Lamar, Dawn FM, The Weeknd, Still Over It, Summer Walker, Hollywood's Bleeding, Post Malone, which I have not listened to, 21, Rihanna's Renaissance with Beyonce. I feel like that should be higher. What You See Is What You Get, Luke Combs, Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish, Fighting Demons, Juice WRLD, Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar, definitely an older album. Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, Pop Smoke, Hall of Fame, Polo G, Fuck Love, The Kid Laroi, Goodbye and Good Riddance, Juice WRLD, Rumors, Fleetwood Mac, which is a much older album. The Greatest Hits, Queen album, This One's For You, Luke Combs, Fine Line, Harry Styles, Future Nostalgia, Dua Lipa, If You Know Me, Morgan Wallen. And now I'm just gonna, because this is 200 things I'm about to go through that I'm not about to go through. So I'm gonna just tell you out of these albums which ones I think are cool. An Evening with Silk Sonic for sure. Donda, Kanye West, Montero, Lil Nas X. The fact that Eminem's Current Call is on here is funny. Honestly, Nevermind from Drake was cool. Control with SZA. Damn, Kendrick Lamar. Nevermind, Nirvana is a great album. Another one that, you know, making a resurgence. Take Care, Drake is a classic. Greatest Hits from Tupac, I feel like is worthy. I'm not surprised that Scorpion from Drake is on here. Graduation, Kanye West for sure. Not surprised for anything Bad Bunny being on here. Not surprised for J. Cole, Forest Hills Drive being on here. Not surprised by Love is Rage, Astroworld, or Ego being on here. Igor, Jesus. Not surprised about The Voices and the Heroes being on here. Whole Lot of Red. Anything with X. Happy that Man on the Moon is on here. I did not expect that. Thriller. College Dropout. Let's see. What else we got in here? Hot Pink. Blonde. The Moana soundtrack. Cool. Call Me If You Get Lost. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Born to Die. Get Machine Gun Kelly off my screen. More Like from Drake. Anti-Rihanna 17X. Nothing Was the Same, Drake, Channel Orange, Dr. Dre. Let's see. Currents is cool. Gemini Rights. I'm a Gemini, if you didn't know. And I am a strong advocate for us. American Teen, Khalid. I'm not surprised by anything. Billie Eilish, Brent Faiyaz. The Fame, Lady Gaga, is a little bit surprising. But I mean, all these, as you can see, are phenomenal albums. And it's interesting to see the mix of old and new that, is here. Because I think when we think, okay, years end Billboard charts, that a lot of the music is going to be from at least the past 5 years, but we have music spanning from the past 30 years, which is really cool. And then finally, the top 100 songs. I'm going to brush past this relatively quickly, or try to at least, and let you guys know just what I agree with, what I don't. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the state of R&B music. What I agree with, let's see, what do I agree with? I think First Class is great, Big Energy is great, Super Gremlin, Kodak will always have a piece of my heart. Wait for You, for sure. About Damn Time, for sure. Industry Baby. And we can see a lot of parallels with just the previous charts and what we've been talking about with TikTok. Bad Habit is cute. Break My Soul, anything Beyonce is great. Save Your Tears is cool. Push and P, absolutely. Let's see. Super Freaky Girl, Hours and Hours, Moody Long. Karol G has been doing great as well. Oh, all right. Well, that's the end of that. We're gonna move forward because we've spent quite some time talking about charts, and I want to move on because I'm tired of it. So yeah. The next thing, pretty briefly, is just an article continuing to talk about, a conversation that's been going on for a while in the music industry. Is R&B dead? What is the state of R&B? People are not happy with fucking R&B right now, and for the past 5 years or so, which is booty. So I'm gonna read an excerpt, and then I'm gonna tell you guys about some of my favorite R&B artists. I'm sure many of you guys listen to, and I snuck a couple of dope folks in Orlando in at the very end. So, is there a place for R&B to stream on your playlist? Have many of today's listeners lost touch with the sultry sounds of rhythm and blues that they have given up on voices like Whitney Houston or Luther Vandross? The current state of R&B in today's popular culture is definitely a peculiar crossroads musically, because we see music caught between mainstream popularity play, genre diversity, and traditional 90s R&B. So, before I talk about who I fuck with, my statement in response to this excerpt is, I think that people, critics and people making these statements, are deluded, they're kidding themselves, and they're not doing the work to find good music. Or, like I said, they're just deluded. It's disingenuous to see something cultural like music, writing, art, any creative stuff, anything that has to do with culture. It's disingenuous to see those things evolve with time as they do and take on different inspirations, take on different forms, and just look different, because that's how evolution works and that's how time plays out, and look at that and not be able to call it R&B. We can talk about different subsectors of the genre and go into how they've changed over time, what the influences have been, etc., etc. But the truth is that it's still R&B. That's still the basis of it. That's still where it comes from, and it's still R&B. It's just a little different because that's just how it is. A great example of that is exactly how they're talking about. They're talking about Luther Vandross. If we go back even further, folks like Anita Baker, Aretha Franklin. Just because they had a different sound, and of course that's way more soulful, a lot more ballads, and then moving into 90s R&B, which is a totally different sound, it's still R&B. It's just how it changed over the years. So I feel like, once again, people are being disingenuous and deluded by saying that R&B is dead. They just don't know if they like the direction it's going in, which is valid and is okay, and I respect that. But yeah, maybe just let young people have their creative freedom and take on what is ours now, because it is on our hands and we are moving forward with it the way that we see fit. Let us do that and listen to your older stuff. We listen to the older stuff too, but if you are like annoyed, just be quiet and don't listen to it. Okay, moving on, some of my favorite R&B vocalists of our lifetime, or rather our era currently. Jasmine Sullivan, off the bat, one of the best vocalists, period. Ari Lennox, Raven Lenae is awesome. Leanne LaHavas is awesome. Yeba, SZA, Sid, Kalani. Some men, because I was like, there's all women on here, which is cool. Anderson .Paak / Silk Sonic are doing amazing stuff. Lucky Day, Giveon. And then my people from the city that I was like, I gotta put them in there. Sarah, my girl Sarah, congratulations. I know she just did a show in New York, in Brooklyn. I don't know when you're coming back, but congratulations on that. I know it was an awesome experience. You're amazing. I love you. Go check Sarah's music out for sure. Maseo, a great friend of mine who is just a phenomenal singer and does so much of everything by himself and is just super creative and super awesome. And once again, immensely talented vocally. And then Anastasia Felicity, a partner of mine, a friend of mine who is also a mixing engineer, who's going to be coming in on the 13th to talk about studio etiquette. But yeah, she's also an artist who has a great ear and a great voice, so go check all of them out. And all of these are badass motherfuckers doing R&B music, so I just don't want to, I want to not continue to hear about the state of R&B and the downfall of R&B. No, we're keeping it alive. You're either just not looking at it or you just don't like it, which is okay. Just move forward. Or make better R&B music if you really feel that type of way about it. That's the real test, is can you make better music than what you're critiquing? Moving forward. That's a whole conversation. The final thing we're going to talk about today, and this might be long-winded. I feel like it's going to be. Rolling Stones came out with a top 200 singers of all time. It's been causing quite the controversy. And yeah, it's not a good list. So I'm just going to go through, I notated the people who I feel deserve to be on the list and who I think were either that I just wanted to notate and that maybe I thought that they were a good place or not, but just kind of recognize them, but also give you guys a glimpse, if you haven't looked at the whole list, of kind of how the order is. I put people in here that I believe should have been before, aka after, so lower on the list, that were higher, compared to who I think they, like, why the fuck are you before this person, right? Okay, so we're going to go through it and talk about it a little bit and talk about how really the resounding theme is that unfortunately a lot of these institutions are extremely biased, of course, racist, sexist, politicky ass shit. And this is going to show you exactly why. Kelly Clarkson was 194. Number 194. Kelly Clarkson is a phenomenal vocalist. I don't know exactly where I would have put her. I didn't, put together my own list exactly. But Lana Del Rey was before her at 175. I think Lana Del Rey is awesome. I think she has a beautiful voice. If we are talking about objective vocal ability, Kelly Clarkson is gonna sing circles around Lana's ass every time. Then, right after, I don't know how to correctly say this, but Brandy is 193. Once again, phenomenal, talented singer. I don't know exactly where I would have put her, but I definitely would not have put Jungkook, K-pop man, before her at 191. Personally, I feel like that's disrespectful. Alicia Keys sits at 185. The person who I was like, why are you before this person? There's plenty of people that she's before that I don't think she should be before, but I put her here. Is Courtney Love at 130. Once again, I like Courtney Love. This is no shade to her, but if we're talking about sheer vocal ability, Alicia Keys is singing circles around her ass every time. Then we have Jasmine Sullivan at 182. and SZA at 180. So these are close to each other. But as you can see, most of these I'm just going to continue to say. If we're talking about sheer vocal ability, Jasmine is going to go crazy on SZA. SZA is amazing. That doesn't take away from her. But if we're talking about just sheer vocal ability, Jasmine is light years ahead. Sorry, no offenses. I love you. You're amazing. And then also, just to note, vocal ability doesn't necessarily determine the quality of the music. Because there's so much more than just the vocals that have to do it. If you're scatting, maybe, but if there's real songwriting, if you've got the production, the mixing, it's so much more than that. But that's really what I'm focusing on because it's a top 200 singers of all time, right? Then we have Odetta at 171. Someone who I was like, why are you before Odetta? Is Robert Smith with 157. A lot of that kind of music to me, it's not bad. Once again, it's not that I don't like it, but it does not vocally compare to the fucking powerhouses, some of the powerhouses like Odetta who are on here. And then you have Sylvester at 169. I saw that The Weeknd was at 110 and don't agree. And you can see that's a huge jump as well. We got Mark Anthony at 167. Y'all know how I feel about Taylor Swift. She's at 102, so she's ahead of a lot of these phenomenal vocalists that we've already talked about. Alicia Keys, Jasmine Sullivan, fucking Odetta, Sylvester, more, including fucking Barbra Streisand that she's in front of. I get really frustrated when we talk about this. Taylor Swift does not deserve that spot. She is mediocre. I don't want to be like a woman hating on a woman, but the fact that she's in front of fucking Erykah, Donna Summer, Barbra Streisand, Ronnie James Dio, Mark Anthony, Sylvester, Odetta, Jasmine Sullivan, Alicia Keys, Brandy. No, it doesn't make sense. It's disrespectful. I don't know who's paying who. I don't know what, who, where, why, or how, but it does not sit right with me. And I'm going to continue to talk about it every time it pisses me off. Next we have at 165, Ronnie James Dio, an absolute freaking just icon phenomenon. Shout out to my bro in New York who took me to see his documentary that just opened my eyes and taught me a lot about this freaking amazing person. And I felt like 165 was low because he literally, this is his sign. And you tell him, yeah, moving forward. Also, another like cool tidbit about him, he literally like needed his own mic because his voice was so powerful. He needed to bring his own equipment into studios in order to not fuck shit up. Anyways, moving forward, yeah, 165 I feel is too low for someone with that strong of a voice. 147, we have Barbra Streisand. Someone that I put, and this might be controversial. I don't think it is because, once again, sheer vocal ability is what we're talking about here. Someone that was before them is Stevie Nicks at 93. Once again, love Stevie Nicks. Don't think she is a objectively better vocalist than Barbra Streisand. It's Barbra Streisand. Then we have a 122, Donna Summer. Someone who I think is phenomenal, who I don't think should have been before Donna Summer, is Selena. At 115, we have Erykah Badu. Someone who I don't believe should have been before them is 78 with Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin is amazing. Once again, we're not talking about who is a bigger cultural icon, any of that stuff. Sheer vocal ability, I don't believe that she is before Erykah Badu or before Barbra Streisand or before Donna Summer. So yeah. Moving forward, at 106, we have Bill Withers. Someone before them who I don't really think should have been before them was Bruce Springsteen, sitting at 77. 102, we have Gladys Knight. Someone who I don't think should have been before them is 78 with D'Angelo. D'Angelo is phenomenal, but Gladys, it's hard. It's hard, and I did my best on this. And this is just how I feel. Don't come for me, please, okay? At 100, we have Elton John, someone who I don't think should have been before him and should not have had this spot, is Kurt Cobain at number 36. Kurt Cobain is amazing. Was amazing. Was great. Had creative genius. Was not the 36th best singer of all time. And was not a better singer than Erykah Badu or Bill Withers or Gladys Knight or Elton John. So, yes. Then at 98, we have Bob Marley. At 97, we have Usher, and someone who, this might also be controversial, I don't really care. Someone who I don't think should have been before them is Bjork at 64. Bjork is really cool. Don't think that she is a better vocalist than Usher. Then we have 96 with Chuck Berry, someone who, once again, I don't believe they should have had this spot in general, is Aaliyah at 40. Amazing vocalist. We also didn't get to see how her voice would have matured over time, but having her at number 40 and you have Chuck Berry at 96, I feel like there's a discrepancy. 92, we have Anita Baker, and as you can tell, this is where we start to get like, why are these people still so close to the halfway mark? But someone I believe who should have not been before them is 68 with Rihanna. Once again, amazing vocalist, but she's not better than Anita Baker. It's Anita Baker. Come on, y'all. I feel like it's so like it just makes sense, but I guess it doesn't to some. I don't know. Next, we have 87, Diana Ross. Someone who I don't necessarily think should have been before them is Amy Winehouse. Once again, Amy is phenomenal. I want to recognize her. I think she should be on this list, but I don't know if she should be before Diana Ross. This one has been the absolutely most controversial, and I agree because it doesn't make any sense, is 86 with Michael Jackson. I believe he should have at least been in the top 10 because it's Michael Jackson. That no one has ever has and ever will be bigger than him, do what he did. It just won't happen. And that's really all I have to say about it. I don't think that he deserves to be 86. He, once again, deserves to be like in the top 10. And I understand why people are really upset about it and why this has kind of been just all over social media timelines for, the past couple of days. Because it's just disrespectful. It really is. Moving forward, at 74, we have Patti LaBelle. Someone before her who I don't think should be is Lady Gaga, who sits at 58. 72, we have Muddy Waters. 66, we have David Ruffin. 62, we have George Michael. Shout out, he was my very first concert. I think I was like 4 years old. At 56, we have Barry White. Someone who I don't think should have been before them is David Bowie. He sits at 32. Similar reason to like Kurt Cobain. Phenomenally talented person, had a lot of creative genius, is not a better singer than Barry White, to me, objectively. Then at 55, we have Tina Turner. The person who I put in here could be controversial, that I don't think should have went before her, is Ariana Grande, who sits at 43. Ariana is an amazing vocalist. I cannot take that away from her. But I feel like having her before Tina Turner and before Patti LaBelle, Diana Ross, Anita Baker is disrespectful. Once again, yeah. Moving on. 44, we have James Brown. I had to do this. The person who went before, who I don't think should have went before, is Elvis Presley at 17. Elvis is a shitty person in so many ways that I'm not even going to get into right now. At 42, we have Teddy Pendergrass. At 41, we have Etta James. The person who I put before, who went before, who I don't think should have went before, is Dolly Parton at 27. Dolly Parton is awesome. To me, she's a much better songwriter than she is vocalist, but icon, will not take that away. At 33, we have Bessie Smith. At 31, we have Luther Vandross. The person before this, who I don't think deserves to be before Luther Vandross, and just a lot of these other people, is Bob Dylan, who sits at 12. 29, we have Shaka Khan. 28, we have Mahalia Jackson. 25, we have Mary J. Blige. 23, Smokey Robinson. 21, Nina Simone. I was waiting. I was like, when are they going to put this bitch in here? 20 was Marvin Gaye. 19, and as you can see, once we get into like that 30, that's where, okay, all of these people are pretty phenomenal, and I didn't really put anyone before them because they're just all pretty fucking phenomenal. But once again, 20 is Marvin Gaye. 19, Frank Sinatra. Celia Cruz at 18. Yes, I love that woman very much. 16 is Prince. 14, Freddie Mercury. 13, Patsy Cline. 11, Lil Richard. 10, Al Green. 9, Otis Redding. 8, Beyonce. 7, Stevie Wonder. 6, Ray Charles. 5, Mariah Carey. 4, Billie Holiday. 3, Sam Cooke. And 2, Whitney Houston. And number 1, finally, is Aretha Franklin. Once it gets into like the 30 and below, there's not a lot that I disagree with or that I don't feel is deserved. But yeah, it's all over the place. And something that I want to point out, that I think is just interesting to point out and important to point out, is basically every black person on this list was and still is a cultural phenomenon, a cultural icon, a world-shaking, world-moving talent. There's a lot of white people on this list that are not, like, at all. But literally every black person and most of the people of color on here were miles and miles and miles in terms of the stratosphere of what stardom can be. And just that we talked about, like, it and shit like that. And, like, that to the highest extent are what a lot of the black folks and people of color on this list were. A lot of the white people were mediocre. I didn't know a lot of the white people, which I think is really telling to this list. And yeah, I think once again, unfortunately, a lot of these institutions are racist, are classist, are sexist. There's a lot of bullshit politics and money that have to do with it, which is why we get lists like this that aren't necessarily wrong. Like, there's a lot of, I would consider a lot of these people in the top 200 best singers of all time. But when we talk about just the ordering of things and certain people that were put in and that's where it gets muddy. And it's the devil is in the details, you know, of course, as always. But yeah, people have been talking a lot about it. I wanted to give my little 2 cents and, you know, hear myself talk about it for a little bit. But that is the end of today. Really brief in terms of how much stuff we talked about. And yeah, it's 2023, you guys. New year, same old bitch. Just getting better, just growing. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. It wasn't too, like, top heavy or anything like that. I wanted today to be relatively fun and relaxed. Just to reiterate, if you want to have anything placed on this table and you're an artist and you want, like, some merch, or you have a new album, maybe you have some physical music and things like that you want to showcase, let me know. I would be glad to put you guys up here. Once again, if you're a local business who wants to have something placed up here, let me know that as well. And yeah, submit for next week. Let me know if there are any stories that you want for me to speak on. I cannot leave without giving one more huge thank you and shout out to Inner Space Orlando for sponsoring this podcast, being the reason why we are so amazing. Come check them out, book yourself a tour, figure out how you guys can work with them, and come through to all of the amazing events that we're throwing in January and February. On that note, thanks for watching, you absolute hooligans. I'll see you next week.
I'll be the peace that you've been searching for. Girl, you know, no one's ever had you feel like you don't need no other nigga. I know when we get back attached, we'll be moving fast on the gas, but shorty not too fast. I know what you want, wanna make this last. Keep your heart intact, attached to me like a tattoo. Why you out there with that dude? When you and I go back, ooh. Fast on the gas, but shorty not too fast. I know what you want, I know what you want. I know that you might need a nigga, but I'm back